Alright, this video is about basic information you need in order to successfully dry clothes on a line. First thing is you have to have a clothesline, something you can always just throw your clothes over the handrail of your porch or something, but there's nothing like a regular clothesline. You need to have a clothesline, and you're going to have a way of tightening it. This is a turnbuckle, and that actually puts stress on the line to tighten it up every now and then. These little clamps, if you can see that, they actually hold the line onto the turnbuckle. The turnbuckle hooks into one of these hooks that goes into the pipe of the clothesline. We got our clothesline from out of the woods. People had it sitting behind their house, rusted out wires on it, and they didn't want it there, and we just offered to haul it off for them, and they said okay. Dryer from Sears, you can get a nice dryer for $250, electric or gas dryer, and then buy fuel for the rest of your life. Or you can buy a clothesline for $300, because the pipes and the wires, it's just not, to get a decent clothesline, you can't get a decent clothesline cheap anymore because people don't use them. Back in the old days, they would just, every store had a clothesline in it. Just go in there and buy it cheap. In the middle of your clothesline, if you got a long enough one, or even a short one, you're going to have some kind of support, and that's what these are. And they just hold the line up in the middle so that your clothes, longer clothes, don't drag the ground. And I'll show you. If you take this and just pull it down, that line drops. I don't know if you can see that. See how low those pants are. If those pants were here in the middle, they would be on the ground right now, touching. If you notice, I've got a lot of clothes at this end, and I've got just a little here at this end. These are my work clothes, and they're covered with stains. This end of the line is getting more sun, so I put them here because the sun will actually remove stains. The negative part of that is it'll remove the dye from the clothes as well, or at least fade them out. These are work clothes. I think it looks better, even if they're faded, to not have stains. So we put those down here, and we hang them right side out with the most stained part facing the sun. The sun doesn't actually dry your clothes, it's the wind that dries the clothes, but the sun cleans your clothes. The sun also actually causes the wind, so you could still say that the sun dries your clothes, and you would be correct. Okay, at this end, our good clothes, or at least what we call good clothes, are hung inside out. That way they don't fade. But there's more to it than that. You want to make sure that if the sun's on one side, you put the part that doesn't open facing towards the sun. The other side that opens up like that, if the sun was on this side, what would happen is the sun going through the opening in the clothes would fade out the back of your shirt or your pants. Daddy always had a V shape on the back of his pants that was faded because Mama would hang his clothes inside out, but she wouldn't zip them up. And so the zipper being open would cause the pants to fade where the sun got through. Another thing on when you're drying clothes, if you burn your trash at your house, you don't have trash pickup or you don't use a trash pickup, burning trash on laundry day will make your clothes smell like smoke. And one of the main reasons for hanging clothes on a line, other than saving the planet, is the fact that your clothes smell so much better and fresher and cleaner on a clothesline than they do when they come out of a dryer. It only takes about 30 cents worth of electricity to dry your clothes in a dryer, but that translates to about probably 5 pounds of coal or 2 pounds of coal. I don't know how efficient they are. But if every human on earth were to use a dryer, you can think of how many millions of tons of coal a day would be burned just on drying clothes. Unfortunately, it's only the United States that wastes energy like that. Can't think of anything else to add to this, really. Oh, people are starting to get so weird that they're trying to make laws against clotheslines because they consider them an eyesore. So if you have a clothesline, even though it's not necessary, it doesn't really, no reason for it, we always like to hang our clothes neatly, like all our towels on one line in a row. matching colors, all our pants on one line, all our shirts on one line, and neatly done, and we keep the grass cut around it, and we try to make it so that the clothesline is actually, you know, attractive as it can be. We have a nice little basket. That's another thing you need to know. If you get a clothesline, you want a basket with legs on it. I hope that's what we're seeing in this video. Because if you go to Walmart, their laundry baskets don't have legs because they're meant to be used in a laundromat where you have tables to set your laundry basket on. You don't want to be bending over on the ground to pick up your laundry. And also, something that just my own personal preference is I don't leave my clothespins on the clothesline. I like to bring my clothespins in at night because they get to looking ugly. And we have two of these things. It's just a clothespin keeper. And you don't want to leave those out on line either because they'll get mildewed and they'll get faded and they'll fall apart. And another thing is these clothespins. These are the kind of clothespins I use. And it's my own personal preference. I don't see any reason to use the old style wood ones with no spring on it. They seem like they'd be a hassle. But you don't want to go to the dollar store and get the 50 clothespins for $1. I get mine at the hardware store, and it's about $6 for 50 of them. Maybe even more than that, because they're bigger, and they've got a bigger spring. And when a wind comes up, your clothes don't all blow off the line. It's just something you'll learn as if you dry your own clothes. And you'll pick up on a lot of little secrets. It's just the basics that you need to know are to make sure your clothes are secured to the line well, that the line itself is strong enough to hold the clothes up. The sun will fade your clothes, so only face things into the sun that you want faded, and the wind will dry your clothes. And saying that, if you know which way the wind normally blows, then you should run your clothesline so that your clothes are all hanging in the wind. So our clothesline goes east to west because we have normally southern or northern winds. Also, we have no neighbors on that side of us, but on this side we do have neighbors. And so another thing to keep in mind, just because of the way the world is we keep our underwear hanging towards our house and away from the neighbor's house. We don't want to take a chance of offending somebody by letting them see our underwear, and we don't want them to get tempted to come over here and steal our underwear so they can play with them, because people are weird. In fact, when we first started doing this, Rachel would hang her underwear in the house because she didn't want nobody to see them. And and another important thing, if you look here, all clotheslines in the summer in the pipe have wasp nest, and the wasp will sting you when you bang against the line or definitely don't ever put your finger in a clothesline because they will tear you up. But we've had clotheslines in the past, and we've gone without clotheslines. In fact, we used to hand wash our clothes and hand dry them, and we'd have clothes just hanging all over the house and all over the porch. And we just love this clothesline, especially since the pipes were all free. We got those out of someone else's yard. You can find some in other people. If you see a clothesline somewhere and it's got rusty wire on it, offer the people to take their clothesline out, and they'll let you have it. They may even want to pay you to take it. All right, that's basically it.